I'm high like there's something there, but I'm just searching for the unknown.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Big Bang Theory after show here at thestream.tv. Bachelor party that went up in flames.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
With me to discuss this, we have Lexi.
Hi.
And Tia.
Hi.
What's
Good
up,
to see you
guys? Yeah. So Insanity. First of all, tweet us live, Big Bang AS, hashtag Big Bang AS, and we'll
Please.
yeah, tweet us, yell at us, and talk to us, and we'll respond sometime soon. But let's get to this insane bachelor party that never happened.
Oh, yeah.
So it started off with a kidnapping. What do we think about this?
Well, it started off really fun. I was like, oh, this is great. They're doing the typical kidnap someone, bring them to a bachelor party. I thought it was going to end up actually being like a huge bachelor party on the show.
Right.
So it was a little surprising when it wasn't, but it was funny.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to actually kidnap Leonard, but he went willingly, and they ended up kidnapping Sheldon.
Well, Sheldon had to come, of
Yes,
course,
of course.
And Leonard went willingly because the alternative is hanging out with Sheldon. So he went, and then I love the part where they actually are carrying Sheldon like a rug. And, and then they said, I told you to duct tape his mouth, and then Raj says he bit me. And so it's just he's an animal.
Well, it's funny because he joked about that. He's like, if you're really going to kidnap somebody, where's the rope? Where's the duct tape?
Right.
And then they show him doing exactly what he said they should have done to Leonard.
The whole the Lethal Weapon reference that they did when he's like, I'm too old for this crud. I love that. I love the references back to something else. I think it's great, and it's so Sheldon.
And that brought us to, obviously, the blown tires. So they're on their way to Mexico, and Sheldon's all upset because they're in the van, and he's saying that they're all excited about it, and Sheldon says, yeah, what you saying something, Sheldon.
Oh, well, Sheldon, before the tire got blown?
No, yes.
Oh, so before the tire got blown, Sheldon in the van, before he found out that it was the scientist's van, or what remind me of his name?
Richard Feynman.
Richard Feynman, yes.
Yeah.
Before he found out it was Richard Feynman's van, he just started making fun of it. And they're like, oh, there's something about this van you might not know. He's like, what, it runs on syphilis?
That was my
So
line.
that was brilliant. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And then he ended up loving it when he did find out it was Richard Feynman's
Of course,
van.
and then finding his butt dent.
Yes.
And the gosh, that he was actually sitting in Richard Feynman's butt dent. That was great.
Yeah.
So the tire blows, and they're stuck on the side of the road, and there are 3, 4, 5, 11 scientists, and they're all these scientists in a van, and they can't figure out how to change a tire, and they try all these different things.
I actually wrote down the methods.
Let's talk about those.
Well, first, before they even start, I think it's so funny when Raj does the Lamaze breathing.
Right,
I love that too. I love that too.
After that, I found it interesting that they showed the names of each method. I've never noticed in an episode before them putting up exactly the techniques that they were discussing.
I think it was the first time that they've done that, and I think it's really great because people can learn about different methods that they were using and actually know what they're called.
Well, I agree, because on this show, I mean, I'm sure you guys have a similar thing that happens with you, but I feel like I get smarter with science every time I watch it, because humor and science together is the perfect way to learn science.
Exactly, yeah.
And what better a way to do it than to actually have it written right, front and center for you to actually, if you can read the words, because they are scientific.
Yeah.
Right,
But if then it helps you learn it.
So they used a few different methods. They did the scientific principle of I cannot say the word, progressive shock, thermal expansion, accelerated corrosion, and exothermic reaction, which makes thermite, and that was a really bad idea because
well, they ended up setting the whole van on fire, and then the whole bachelor party goes up in flames. I thought it was pretty cool to watch, them really try to make this happen, and it was really just at the end of the day, it was a really hard lug nut that just wouldn't come off, that totally just derailed their bachelor party. And
have you changed a tire before?
Oh yeah, 4 times. I've gotten really good at changing my own tires.
Well, it seems like you're really bad at driving. If you poor float out tires.
It's the highways. I used to take the 110 up to Pasadena all the time, and that little highway, and things are always on their nails and stuff. I've actually had to pull over and change my own tire in a dress. With no help.
See, so they were missing Tia, is what they were missing. They needed you on the show.
All you need is a woman there.
That is amazing.
So obviously this bachelor party was an epic fail.
Yes.
All right.
Hashtag.
So hashtag epic fail. I think it's taken, but hashtag bachelor party epic fail.
I'm sure that's taken somewhere as well.
Probably.
Hashtag Bachelor party, Big Bang after show, epic fail,
Moving
Tia, Adam,
on.
Lexi. That'll be the huge hashtag. Please tweet us at that.
So while all of this is going on, we move over to our bachelorette party, and I'm going to put it in air quotes, because, you know, obviously they didn't really have a bachelorette party, but Amy comes over with bachelorette cookies, which, Tia, you want to talk about those for a second?
In the form of male genitalia, as only Amy can make. Jewish and Gentile. She had extra dough. Love that.
Yeah.
And that the veins were made of gummy worms. I mean,
Which is creative.
Very creative.
If you
I mean,
think about it.
she's a scientist, so, you know, she comes up with these creative ideas, and it comes out in her cooking. And
I'm sure when
Gotta
I
love
was in
her.
college, I was the first thing, how can I make a vein in a penis cookie? Which product would be best?
This show just took a weird turn.
But no, that was great.
Mental pictures that we don't want. I mean, I don't want anyway. I don't know if you guys are
I'll take the picture.
interested in looking at the cookies. But so this happens, and at the same time, Amy decides that she wants to change her look.
yes, and the
And-
girls jump on that.
Totally.
Yes.
What did we think about that
Oh,
part?
well, that was funny because when she first said she wants to change her look, Penny and Bernadette are like, oh my God, yes. And then she's joking at first. She's like, well, actually, like, oh, yeah, okay. But she does decide to pierce her ears.
Yes. And I mean, a lot of people that get their ears pierced like later on in life, it's like a definite decision. Like those of us that get them done earlier, it's our parents that decide, okay, we can get your ears pierced. But when you're older, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have my ears pierced now, and then let Penny do it.
With ice and a needle?
I thought that might get a little a little scary, but
I
turned
did
out
too.
okay.
I actually thought, I was kind of hoping a scene would play out with the actual ear
Right,
piercing
yeah.
where she starts screaming. Like, nothing that dramatic, but you know, where I thought it was going to be another epic fail with her ears being pierced, and they kind of just got right to it. Her ears were
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I would have liked to have seen a little more happen with that.
Yeah.
That was a moment that could have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it could have been pretty, you know, really funny.
Yeah.
And maybe have Amy pass out or something, you know,
Right, that's
from
what-
the blood that she said
Right,
that
that
she
she was
lost
losing.
before it. Yeah. So that would have been nice to see.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that it was a little. It was. I mean, it was a little on the nose when they all jumped on her looks, but I still really liked it. When she's like, I'm thinking of changing my look, and all at the same time they're like, oh, what? Your hair, your earrings, your
Yeah.
shoes, and they all kind of just dove into it. And I thought maybe we'd see a makeover.
And also at the end, which I know we'll get to later, but when Penny does mention they pierced Amy's ears, I was also expecting a big reaction from Sheldon. He didn't really react to that either. I thought he was going to be
Yeah.
like, what? And it would be like a huge moment.
Or that he would be happy that, you know, that she got her ears
Or
pierced, or
just
that she went through
something.
some sort of pain of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, but there really wasn't.
Well, bearing in mind, I mean, you know, he did kind of go through that whole scenario.
That's
He
true.
was stuck in the desert. They set their van on fire. They walked back from Mexico, for all we know. So maybe he just hasn't let it set in yet. I think we'll give Sheldon to next week to kind of maybe comment on the earrings.
Once he sees them.
Yeah, I mean, here, like, we did obviously, you know, see Penny not also tell her parents or her family, anybody in her
yeah.
family about her marriage to Leonard, and then this all kind of plays out in this bachelorette party as well,
Yeah.
That was huge.
right?
And I think that also the fact that they're married now and they still don't live together. They still have to work around Sheldon, and they still don't
Always.
live together, which I think is hilarious because they're married now. They're actually like a married couple, and yet they don't live in the same.
That's why I know
apartment.
so many people keep saying they want to have a huge wedding at the end of this season, and I feel like all these moments that we're watching are leading up to that happening. The fact that her parents obviously weren't there because she did not tell
Right.
them. No one was there, obviously, except for the live feed that her friends watched.
Right.
But all these moments of kind of like regrets happening about the wedding,
Yeah.
to me, feel like they're definitely going to have a big wedding at the end of the season.
Right.
And I know everyone keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
Well,
see.
time will tell. Time will
see,
tell.
yeah.
I do want to bring it back with when Penny does finally tell her dad, and you know he's like, well, when did it happen? And she's like, well, last week, and you know he kind of just responds with a, are you happy? And she's like, yeah, and we're expecting, and then he's like, but he turns it around on
Yeah.
her, right? And so nobody really saw this coming, but obviously he killed her pig.
Killed her pig.
Killed her
Moon
pig.
dance.
Yeah.
Moon dance.
And so, you know, I think it's funny that, you know, she is she's like her dad, like
Right.
waited to tell him, and then, you know, on top of good news, here's the you know,
Right.
surprise.
Well, because when she does call him, it's very much who Penny is. Her family is a reflection of her. One of her siblings, I believe, was in rehab that had
Brother,
the
yeah.
medallions of the
His
1 month sober.
Yeah.
yeah.
1 month sober.
And then the father, like they're all their own little bit of a mess, including Penny. So I
Exactly.
wasn't like surprised by it. And he was like, "This is the perfect opportunity to tell her something that I didn't tell her in the
Exactly.
past."
Yeah.
But it was really funny how that played out. And then let's get to Amy
Amy.
calling her mother.
Oh yeah. So then obviously this happens where Penny forces Amy to get on the phone with her mom to talk about Sheldon's breakup, or her
Which I
breakup
think
with
is
Sheldon.
a little different because Amy's not close to their family at all, and the whole relationship with Sheldon was to get her mom off her back.
Yeah.
So now she has to tell her mom that they've broken up. So I think for Amy, I would have felt like, oh, let's just keep it on Penny as well because it's a different sort of level for her.
Absolutely.
But I think the way that Penny made Amy
Yeah.
tell her mother that she stole the phone from her.
And the line, yeah, I
And-
wrote down the line. It was great. She just yells it.
was.
She goes, oh gosh, where she goes, Amy broke up with Sheldon, got her ears pierced, and she made us eat penis cookies. And then here's Amy.
She wants to talk to you.
Oh, she goes, yes, she wants to talk to you. That was just like
That was-
laying it on her, everything. And her mom, like,
It was. I like that part.
yeah.
too.
I thought
mean,
it was
and
about the
then-
reaction
and then-
of Amy's mother. I'm sure that'll happen later on, though.
Of course.
We've never seen Amy's mother,
No.
have we?
I wonder
No.
if we
But
will.
I wanted a voice or something.
Right.
You know?
But I like that ultimately she ends up sitting in the sin closet, which she was talking about, and
Oh my
so
gosh.
Penny had a lot to say about that as well.
Yes.
Which I mean, at the end of the day, you know, at the whole culmination of everything, you know, the boys come back, they're all battered and just smoked out from the fire and
Yeah.
dirty from walking back from Mexico, and then they see Penny in the hallway and they compare notes, and I love that moment.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
Wasn't it? I mean, you know, and then they're really just like one-upping each other the whole way through about whose weekend was worse. And then the cake topper was Leonard saying, well, I spent a night in Mexico with Sheldon. And Penny's
like,
like,
"You
you win.
win."
Then it's over.
Yep.
You win.
That takes the cake.
Yeah.
So.
Beautiful, beautiful moment.
So let's talk about our favorite moments from this week's episode. So Lexi, do you want to lead off?
I will because we actually briefly touched on it with the sin closet and Amy. So that was funny when she said that anytime she did something wrong, her mother would make her sit in the sin closet. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Matilda, but it kind of reminded me of the choker that they go in. Do you remember that
Oh
scene?
yeah. Well, I've seen the
So
Broadway
you-
show.
Okay,
so
you haven't seen it. Well, maybe some of our viewers will remember Matilda. Anyway, it's basically a closet. They trap you in with change, and you could slightly see out of the holes, kind of
Oh,
like
okay.
what Amy was talking about. And the fact that she had to sit in a sink closet is hilarious. And then what Penny says later on when they are
Yes.
trading stories and the boys get back, that her mother also made her sit in her closet
Right.
because of what she told her.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
kind of just put the whole thing together and wrapped up the funny moment. So that was my favorite moment.
I thought that was a
That's
great
good.
moment too. Tia, what was your favorite
My
moment?
favorite moment was in the beginning when they were doing the kidnapping and Sheldon did his whole Lethal Weapon reference about, oh, why didn't you come in here? Where's the duct tape and where's the rope to tie me up? And then I say, I'm too old for this crud, which he ended up saying again in
Yes.
in the van.
Right.
And I love that because I love when they throw it back to things that I can reference to, and I'm like, you know, Danny Glover says it in the movie in Lethal Weapon. So I thought that was really funny. That was my favorite moment.
So maybe, who knows? Maybe it was a callback to or a little nod of the hat to Matilda for yours. You never
yeah.
know. It could be. Who knows? Maybe one of the writers.
gotta watch the movie
Maybe
now.
one of the writers really liked it. You know.
Well, you have a son. You should watch it. You would like it. It's a child's movie.
I should watch it. I don't even know. All right, my favorite moment of the episode was obviously when Sheldon got down to "We Will Rock You" because of his eidetic memory.
Yep.
And I mean, honestly, I kind of. It kind of took me by surprise because you don't really see Sheldon at all in that kind of light. I feel like this season they're really like kind of unhinging him.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see where they're going to take his storyline this season and what they're going to do with his character because it's really interesting to see him do stuff like that.
Right. And it was funny. I think that was a highlight of the show, definitely. His high falsetto.
Which was pretty good, if
Yeah.
you ask me. I was impressed by Sheldon's accent.
Yeah, he was on point. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Guys,
Imagine when him and Amy have sex. Ooh, it's gonna be a big orgasm.
oh jeez. Foreshadowing to a future event of coitus on the show. We'll be right back after this little commercial break. We're going to talk about some YouTube and Twitter shout-outs.
Awesome.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, this is for you.
I love it. That was freaking loud.
Oh my God.
I didn't see any of this coming. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah?
I was like,
How did you get here? No.
Like, kill him. Kill him. Definitely kill him. We're cool.
Shade. Shade left and right, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, let's put your 2 cents in.
Rubbed me the wrong way and the right way.
But you were like, well, we want to know what's going to happen.
That was cute.
We just want to say we love you all. Thank you so much for your support. You are all seriously the best in the world. and we
Another
appreciate
beautiful
you so
summer
much.
at the stream.tv, y'all.
Here we go, guys.
Thank you for being here. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Remember to tweet at us using the hashtag BigBangAS for after show, and we'll get back to you quickly. But right now, we're gonna do some YouTube shout-outs with Lexi over here. She's gonna do the YouTubes.
Yes.
Let's
So
do it.
thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm seeing everybody that's live chatting right now. Last week, one of our favorites is back again, Jayla. I think I'm saying that correctly. You've been tweeting, I'm sorry, you've been commenting a lot, and I love something that you mentioned here. You said, what do you think is going to be the big head turner this season? Maybe Howard and Bernadette? Which is interesting because Howard and Bernadette have kind of taken the back seat in terms of their relationship.
Yes.
They have.
This season so far. It's really a big focus on Amy, Sheldon, Penny, and Leonard.
Right.
So what do we think is going to possibly be a head turner with Bernadette and Howard?
That's a really good question, Jayla. I don't know what they're going to do with that storyline. I feel like we also haven't seen that much of Raj and Emily. I mean, Emily hasn't been on at all yet.
No.
And they are supposedly still together.
Kind of.
So I think the big focus at the moment is still, like you said, is Leonard and Penny and Amy and Sheldon. Maybe Bernadette gets pregnant.
That would be actually great. I would see her getting pregnant first out of all of them, but you're a little hesitant.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think we're gonna see babies on the show. I don't think we're gonna go in that direction. I think that would be crazy. I do. I think it was
just the first thing that came
No,
to
I
mind.
know. I love going there. I have a baby, but I don't think we're gonna see him on the show. I think the big head turner for this season might be maybe Raj actually either pairing up or totally melting down and losing his marbles. I think that would be a very fun way to go. I think
we've seen the meltdown though.
With Raj? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, we
with
did when he was in his underwear and
diaper, the
stinky
lobster and all
yeah,
that.
that's true. We did. But maybe it'll go in a different direction.
yeah.
I think he's underutilized, and I'd like to see Raj, a lot more of Raj, personally. Do we have any more YouTube?
Yes. So Jayla also mentioned that there's not much of a dynamic storyline this episode. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I kind of agreed.
Yeah,
I do too.
I did.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I do as well. I think definitely having the Bachelorette and Bachelor parties, but I feel like because it's a 22-minute show with commercials, so we don't have a lot of time. And like the things that we thought, like the ear piercing, that could have been taken a little bit more time, like further, or actually getting to Mexico. Like I feel like they're so short on time that it's not.
I want to say, I think also, it is at the end of the day a sitcom, right? So we had the big storylines in the first 2 episodes, and now I think it's time to have some laughs. And I thought that the writers on the show really handled it beautifully with the Bachelorette party, because I thought the girls were really funny this week. I thought the guys kind of brought it at the end, but I felt like they kind of lagged in the beginning.
Right.
So yeah, while there wasn't much of a dynamic storyline tonight, I did think that it was still good old-fashioned fun sitcom.
And it kind of excites me for future episodes, because if they didn't feel the need to get that deep into these, what we viewed as hilarious storylines, that just means there's so much more to come that they're waiting to show us, that might get played out further. So in a way, it's exciting. If that wasn't to them something to elaborate on, then the rest of the season is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's going to go in
a
good
great
directions.
point.
Should we move over to Twitter?
Yeah.
Let's see Tia with some
So
Twitter
we have a
feed.
lot of Twitter fans that loved Sheldon and his singing. So we have RJ Bailey, who says, "I'm rolling at Sheldon singing Queen. We will rock you." Britt D. Zim said, "Oh my God, Sheldon singing 'We Will Rock You' is the best thing ever." So a lot of people enjoyed that scene. Also, we have from. Okay, I'm just gonna spell this out. KIRUBFTW. The awesomeness that is Big Bang Theory. Amy saying the veins are gummy worms. I hurt myself laughing. So did we. So that was great.
Yes, we did.
By the way, who thinks that Sheldon singing is going to be a ringtone on a cell phone
Oh,
soon?
that would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
I think that's going to be a ringtone. Can you make
make
a customized ringtone? Because
I would make that. If whoever's out there, make the ringtone because
ringtone.
we'll use it.
Yes, there has to be some sort of app
it's
out
going to be
there.
a ringtone.
Yes.
I know it.
And one of the funny ones I loved was Mandy J. Spitz said, "Come on, physics geniuses stand on the lug wrench. Lug nut 1, geniuses 0.
That's funny.
Cry face, cry face.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So there were some great ones. I think there was a lot of funny episodes or funny scenes tonight in the episode, and because they split up the boys and the girls, we got a little bit of both from both. So
We kind of like a he said, she said.
yeah.
All right, let's move over to some Reddit things from. Actually, this is from last week. Obviously, leading in, we're going to be I guess we'll hit Reddit from the week before. So. I want to address something. This is another one. It's Vakla Havel's mustache says, 3 things I got from this episode. 1, apparently Leonard's marriage isn't worth $250 an hour to him, which I did actually address last week. 2, the jokes are getting lazier than ever. I'd like to SpongeBob her SquarePants. That's not even clever, he says. And then 3, well, I want to address all 3 because I think that he goes, Penny and Leonard can both do better. He's right that he doesn't deserve someone like her because she doesn't share and openly mocks his interests. She doesn't deserve someone who's so insecure he can't even accept her love after all these years. I wish they would have killed this marriage early on this season rather than continuing it indefinitely. So we're gonna let's start with number 2 because we already touched on the first one and we agree. But for the jokes getting lazier, I thought personally, let's just Tia, what did you think? Did you think that was lazy in the writing, or
which joke did he?
When he said that the jokes are getting lazier than ever, I'd like to SpongeBob her SquarePants from last week.
That's Howard and Roger's sense of humor. That's just their sense. I thought it was funny. I laughed. I think I laughed out loud at a few of those. So, so maybe I'm just a nerd, and maybe I just am, easily. People make me laugh easily. I'm not sure, but I thought it was funny.
So Vakla Havel's mustache, we don't agree necessarily, only because it was more camaraderie and boys being boys as opposed to having it to be super funny. And come on, SpongeBob her SquarePants.
Literally boys being boys.
Exactly.
Boys being boys.
And like Tia said, that's their sense of humor. I mean, I think we could all agree. I feel the writing's always brilliant, so it's hard. I understand what he's saying, absolutely. But I do think they have to match the writing to the character's sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And so let's move on to with the Penny and Leonard thing, where he's saying that they can do better. What I personally, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying because when they grow old and there's no more physical stuff, what are they going to talk about? But Lexi, what do you think? Do you think that you think they can both do better?
Do better in terms of spouses?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think they're perfect together. I mean, opposites attract, and they bring out something different in each other that they've never brought out before. Penny was always smart. She was never dumb, but now she is becoming more advanced in other areas of life because of Leonard, and vice versa. Leonard's becoming more advanced in social skills because of Penny. And together, I personally think they'll have a lot to talk about. I mean, they've had so many moments. I think they complement each other perfectly.
I think so too.
Penny had all those douchebag guys, as she used to say, and it never worked out because they were bricks or whatever. So this is perfect.
And so Tia, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think they complement each other as well. I think you have to have someone that you can learn from in a relationship, and definitely Penny learns from Leonard. And I think even though it's a lot of times scientific and she might make fun of it, I think that also shows him how to have a sense of humor, and has given him confidence in his life as well. And he's more outgoing, he's more able to be better in social situations, and I think that comes from Penny and her just kind of low-key fun attitude. So I definitely think they are do well together.
So what did you nickname them? Plenty?
Plenty.
So go Plenty.
Go
Yay,
Plenty. So all right, we'll do one last Reddit one, and this is from Nilo K1. And it touches on the same sort of thing where he says, I can't believe Leonard is still so insecure. In the past 8 years, Leonard has gotten Penny to date him twice before marrying him. He had a friends with benefits arrangement with Raj's sister before dating her. Had that comic book artist fall for him, had Sheldon's assistant Alex totally fall for him, got that doctor chick to be his girlfriend for 2 episodes, and he's the obvious leader of the group. Why is he still so whiny? And isn't confidence what makes people really attractive? He's got none. How has he gotten anyone? So let's talk about this for a second, because while I do agree that he can be whiny, I think that like when you've grown up in a situation where you're always kind of less than, it's very hard to shake that. What do you guys think?
I think that's a great point. I think he's a nerd, and so he's grown up sort of being in that, like, in the nerdy table, not the cool table. So for him, it's stuck in his mind that that's who he is and that's how he is. And just because he's getting all these women, I think he thinks is probably by default. That they like me because I can fix their computers for them, or I can
like it's an accident almost.
Yeah.
I never thought of what like a playa he was until that person
know,
commented.
that's true.
Actually, you know what? He kind of is. He really knows how to get it in.
But well, hey,
in our minds, intellectually, 'cause he's so incredibly smart, and I love him.
Well, here's the thing. I think Nilo K1. I agree with you. I see your thing, and I don't know your background. I don't even know if you're a man or a woman, but I do know that when you've grown up a certain way, it's very hard to shake that image you have of yourself. And so I think personally that Leonard is he's always going to feel insufficient, because bearing in mind his mother's always made him feel insufficient.
Yes.
He's never really gotten the girl before, so every single time he's actually done it, I don't think that it's not going to change the way he is. I think he's going to grow into himself as he spends more time with Penny and gets better.
Hasn't resignated.
Yeah, it takes time, I think. Anyways, you guys let us know what you think in the comments below. Tweet at us all week with Big Bang AS, #BigBangAS, and subscribe on YouTube right here while you're there, and catch us next week. Thank you guys. Have a great week.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Can't wait to hear your questions.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.